Hello and welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show, the podcast where small business owners share their stories, insights, and strategies for success. I am your host, Mariana Dalto, and our guest today is Elizabeth Jane. She's an Australian artist, Amazon bestselling author, and inspired public speaker. From overcoming a challenging divorce to becoming a sought-after artist, Elizabeth has transformed her life, and now she helps others to do the same. Her book, Free and First, Unlocking Your Ultimate Life, is a tool for personal empowerment and healing. Let's dive into her incredible journey and learn how she empowers others to navigate life's challenges. Welcome, Elizabeth, to the show.
Oh, thank you, Mariana. Thank you for having me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very excited to have you on the show. I know you have a lot of passion for your journey and how you help people, and the book is one of the main tools that you have for people to get better. So I'm excited about you telling the story, and let's start with that. Let's start first on your background. Share a little bit about your personal story and the artwork that you have in your book, and anything around that.
Okay, sure. I thought everything was running quite smoothly in my life, and all of a sudden I was sort of hit with a surprise divorce. And I had 4 children. 2 were about to do year 12, their final year of school, and I hadn't seen this coming, and I just it was a roller coaster of emotions that went on for at least a year. I was in shock and denial at first. I thought, my husband's just having a male menopause, isn't that what they call it? And then I was, deep grief and victim mentality about what had I done wrong? Surely had I cooked fish instead of chicken, or what had I done wrong? I couldn't really see, and I blamed myself, and it was a spiral that took me down into very dark places. And I had always spent my life trying to uplift people, and here I found myself in a hole. And so I started to journal about things that were helping me and things that were hurting me. And organically, my book grew because I wanted to be able to help people through life's challenges, whether they're going through a divorce or any other challenge that they may be faced, because we see challenges. I see challenges in 3 little packages that are universal. We've either got health challenges, we've got relationship challenges, either within the family or work, or we've got financial challenges, and some people have got them all. And so I was determined to write a book that can be a go-to to help people equip themselves with the tools to help them overcome these challenges, and not only overcome them, but to come out bigger and better and brighter and shining and just sort of blazing their full self, their full essence, and no longer in holding on to heavy emotions that really just hold us back. And so my book has got tools and tips to help let go of heavy emotions that we can often hold on to. We don't even know. And so we don't know that we're holding on to maybe grudges or sadness or anger. But in our culture, it's still, grown men don't cry, and we can't have a temper tantrum it's not done. So we have to look at how to move these heavy emotions that plug us down, and how to move them on so as we can shine.
Yeah, and
Yes.
the emotions could come everywhere, right? It's not just, it's all about relationships. When you can have issues with communicating, things could happen around that. In business, you can have emotions as well. So it's like, how do you
Yes.
navigate going through moments like that, right?
Well, I think the thing is, our emotions, our feelings are really important. They're our superheroes. They actually, when we get out of our head, out of our mind, out of our thoughts and into our heart, into how we feel, our body is very, very intelligent and will tell us if we're not happy, if something, we're in danger. And that's when we need to work out, okay, this is not feeling right. This is not feeling right. I need to stand up for me and set a boundary. I put yourself in a situation always where you're choosing things that help you rather than hurt you. Whereas what's happening, I feel, is in my book, I write about Charlie Chaplin. And he said the problem with humanity is we think too much. We get into our thoughts, regretting, shaming, blaming of the past, or if I get rid of this person in my life, I'll be fine. But if we come into our heart and Charlie says that we problem with humanity is we think too much rather than we feel too little. We feel too little and we think too much. And our thoughts can spiral us down and de-energize us. And we want to power up. It's really important. So my book is about powering up, and how we can do that is to just question your thoughts occasionally, especially when they're negative. Are they really helping you or maybe not? Because are they really real, or are they a concoction of what you think may happen or what has happened but a bit more exaggerated? So come back into the present, take a deep breath and be in the present is how, when we charge our phones, every night. We need to charge ourselves, and how we do that is we actually, through our breathing, with our senses, we come into the present. And when we're fully in the present, we can't feel yuck. It's only when we go into the past or the future that we start to feel not good often.
Yeah, I mean, our mind does wonderful things, but also sometimes take us the wrong way, right? And you're right about the thoughts. Like, depending on what thoughts you have, that will produce feelings, and the feelings will generate actions, and those actions will create results in your life. So if you have positive thoughts and good thoughts, you will have good results, good actions, and good results. But if you have negative thoughts, you will have negative feelings, bad feelings, and that goes the other way. So absolutely, I agree with you.
I know. I think someone told me the yogis say that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, well, we can't keep track of 60,000 thoughts, right? So that's just a few too many for me to keep track of. But we can keep track of how we feel. And so I think when we're feeling yuck, we have to do something about it. No one else is going to do anything about it, I've realized. And it's up to us. Okay, if I'm feeling yuck, my 60,000 thoughts mustn't be too positive. And so therefore, because we can feel yuck, but then there's a trap, I think, Mariana, because we're all so busy. We're all in life's hamster wheel. Oh, when I finish this meeting, or when I do this, then I'll sit down and meditate, or then I'll do that class, that gym class, or go for the walk in the park. But when we're in the life's hamster wheel, our problem is we don't stop to feel how we feel, and so we just keep going like an ever ready battery. But we're just not really into feeling how we doing the best for us.
Yeah, and you're pushing the other way, right? Because if you don't get a break, like if you're having really a lot of negative thoughts, and you're just getting too busy and too negative in too many ways, and you're too stressed out, you gotta take a break. You gotta, like, some people meditate, some people just go for a walk, to take a 5-minute break, something that can shift a little bit the way you are experiencing your feelings at that moment.
Exactly. Look, it really only takes a couple of minutes, like you can just say, oh, I'm off to the bathroom right now. And then you can go into the bathroom and recollect yourself, or find yourself. it's really just finding yourself, you know, like I was talking yesterday about hobbies and how hobbies, you know, they're so good for us, because even if we only spent 10 minutes, if we schedule 10 minutes of time in the day for a hobby that brought you joy, you're lifting your vibe by doing something you enjoy, but you're also doing something that keeps you mindful, keeps you present. So that's another good thing. And then if you can find a hobby that's in nature, you know, some people, you know, if you're a gardener, you also got that wonderful thing that you're in nature. So you're getting you're immersed within that wonderful energy of nature. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's things we can do, and we only need 10 minutes. We can buzz ourselves up and out of our mood if we, you know, just distract ourselves and go, oh, I'm not feeling well. I think I'm just going to take a little break here, and sort myself.
Yeah, and
Mm.
when you are at work, I mean, you have those moments, right? And you can feel that something, is not right. So take that break and have the consistency to check with you, with your body, with your feelings every day, all day. Because if you have that break, that 10 minutes, it really shifts everything. Like some people say going outside, maybe if you get some fresh air, uh, go to
Mm.
nature if you can,
Yeah.
things like that. That really, like, you don't need to do it for too long, but a few minutes here and there, it'll really take you away a little bit from the negativity or the bad thoughts or the bad energy that might be affecting you in that moment.
Yeah. And then as you come back, I often find that you can see things in a different, you have got more creative solutions to the problems that you're facing, because what's happening, you're supercharging yourself. So you're lifting your vibe, and your intuition is more powerful. And so you all of a sudden you think, oh, that problem is not a problem anymore, because all I need to do is, you know, speak to someone, or and so things can shift. It's quite amazing, you know, like my grandmother used to say, oh, you know, go to sleep, you know, in the morning all your problems will be, you know, dissolved. And I used to think, but in a way, going to sleep, you've had a good night's sleep, you're lifted, when you wake up in the morning, you actually have lifted your vibe from the night before, and so you can see things more clearly. So it is a simple thing to actually take that time, and, you know, if you can, take your shoes off and put your feet in the grass. If you do have grass outside your office, you know, escape from your jail cell and you know, get out into the sunshine, or you know, touch a flower
You
or a
you Yeah,
tree.
because you will feel energized. Like you,
Yes.
if you don't, if you listeners don't believe it, just try it, and you'll know the difference for sure.
Yeah.
So what practical steps can our listeners take today if they are facing a significant personal or professional challenge? What are the tips that you can provide to our listeners?
Okay, so when you're in a really bad place, and please remember that I am not a health professional, so please do not change your health regime and seek medical advice. I am not a health professional, but when I was really in a bad place, I just get through the day, or get through that hour, how best I could. So I'd rummage up a list. I'd have a list on the fridge of things that would help me when my mood dropped. So things like ring a friend, put my runners on and get out the door and go for a walk. Um, Hop in the bath, have a shower, anything. Put a silly put do play like a child. Play like a child. Stop everything and just put a funny song on. Get yourself into
That
a,
lifts you up. A good song that
yes,
drives
a
you,
good
it totally
song.
lifts you up.
Dance around, shake. Animals shake. You know, when they've got a lot of fear, you've ever watched a horse or a dog, they just give their body a whole big shake. So even a really big shake can actually keep that energy, the low vibe energy, from clinging to you and move it on. So, toddlers roll down, young children, they roll down hills and they have tantrums where they bang their legs and do all sorts of funny things. All they're doing is moving that frustration, that anger, that sadness, that energy that is no longer serving them from their body to allow themselves to feel into a better mood.
Oh my gosh, I never thought about it. Now that when I see my children, I'm gonna I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can't have a temper tantrum maybe in the office, but we could go into the bathroom and shut the door behind us and give ourselves a big shake.
Yeah.
So just see what works for you, because I know that before podcast with Mariana, I give myself a big shake because you don't want all that nervous energy, or that fearful energy, or that sad bad energy holding you back.
Yeah, people feel it. People feel the energy, if it's good or bad. I mean, it comes through, right? So if you are a person in business who are, having meetings or have teams, and you are not in a good place, people will see that, will feel it. You don't even need to say anything. People will know that something is off.
Yes, and the good news is, if you can't do it for yourself, if you can't, self-love and really taking that time out for you, if you can't do it for you, do it for your loved ones, because as you said, you emanate a higher vibe, and your children and your parents and your friends get to surf your wave. They surf your higher vibe. Whereas if you let yourself run down and you don't put yourself first, which is the name of my book, Free and First, Unlocking Your Ultimate Life. If you don't put yourself first, well, then you're not lifting into your best vibe, and you can't help others through
Yeah.
your energy.
So let's go back to the book. So I think you talk in the book that you have a toolkit. So could you explain what this is and how it can help people transform their lives?
Yes, well, there's lots of tools. You'll have to jump on my website, elizabethjane.com.au, and press the button to buy the book. But the tools are, depending on where you're at, it's quite a succinct book. It's not a profuse book, because if we're suffering and going through a bit with our lives, I didn't want to write something. It's a go-to book, lots of summaries. But the tools, there's one tool there, the ABC of me, which is a method. It's ABC of me. You can't do C before A. We need to do A first. And A is allow, accept, and acknowledge. Acknowledge, allow, and accept how we feel. So we need to stop, do A, acknowledge, allow, and accept how we feel, because that's going to help us. And so when we know what we feel, we can work out what's bothering us and what's helping us and what's hurting us. Yes? And so then we can work out B, set our boundaries. B is our boundaries. And C is the communication of those boundaries. Now, we're not going to do A, B, and C if we're not feeling good about ourselves, because we're not going to stand up to what's bothering us, because we're going to think, oh, no, I don't matter. No, that really doesn't matter. And so we need, on top of the ABC of me, we need to actually self-nurture ourselves, put ourselves first, power ourselves up so as we can stand up for what we need. We can feel into what we need and stand up for what we need. And no one else is going to stand. We have to take charge. We have to build ourselves so as we can feel into what we need, follow through the ABC. We can't do C before A, because we don't know what we're asking for if we haven't stopped and felt into our feelings. They're our superheroes, and they will let us know what we need.
And you said that you have tools on your website that helps with that? with the ABC?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ABC. So there's a chapter on acknowledge A, and there's a chapter on B, a chapter on C. There's a chapter on gratitude. There's a chapter on forgiveness,
Okay.
because even if we can't forgive the people in our life that we think have caused us pain, when we do, if we don't forgive, it causes us more grief than the other person. Often it's not good for our health to hold on to grudges. So there's a whole chapter dedicated to forgiveness. Fake it until you make it. That's what I used to do in the early days. Fake it until you make it. And then you get this aha moment, with my husband. I thought, well, gosh, if I hadn't gone through what I went through, I wouldn't have, I lost myself, but guess what? I found myself, and it's thanks to my husband that I actually had this journey to step up and find what matters to me. So there's a whole chapter on forgiveness, a whole chapter on gratitude, and a book that will take you through to really be able to step into the best person that you can be, into more abundance, more joy, better health.
If you take care of yourself, everything around you will get better. If you think that things are bad, but you gotta be better first.
It's our internal landscape. When we get our internal landscape happening and it's all good, that's reflected in the external landscape. And then the low vibrational problems tend to sort of dance out of your life, and you start to have more opportunities and meet people who are more supportive as you stand up to behaviors that you won't tolerate. By putting boundaries in place, those people, the bullies in your life, will move on, because you're not going to tolerate. You're not tolerating them anymore. They'll go and pick on someone else.
Yeah.
And so,
Go ahead.
Oh, no, so once we start to learn our lessons, then the bullies will move on and try and help others to learn their lessons as well.
Yeah. And it's growth for everyone, for sure.
Yes.
And then how important is creativity in all this? Like if you're writing, if you're painting, how creativity helps in the healing process, and how can someone tap into that in order to get better?
Yes, well, that's a really interesting one, because I've always thought, I'm not creative. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a commerce graduate. I help companies, and I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to paint. All our creativity is within us, and we can tap into it. Everyone is creative, but it's just a matter of stopping and not listening to the little voice that says, no, you can't paint. You don't know how to draw. You're not creative. Say, just don't listen to that voice inside you, and give it a go. Play like a child. Follow what you feel you want to try out, and don't have expectations on yourself. Just have fun. A child doesn't go, I haven't had the right number of painting classes to actually paint this drawing today, and I'll have to think overnight about what colors I'm going to use. They don't. Be like a child, and then creativity will unleash. Play like a child, and then creativity will unleash, because it's within every person on this planet.
That's amazing. And I know we're almost close to the interview, but I really wanted to ask you this question. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Love yourself even more.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, thank you so much, Jane, for all the insights, for making us feel relaxed and finding like a way to feel better and heal ourselves somehow. It's been really helpful to listen to you and to learn the different insights. And we will I would like you to tell the audience how they can find you, where they can reach out if they have questions, or if they want to learn more about the book.
Yes. So the best way is to jump on my website, which is elizabethjane.com, and then we have .au for Australia because I'm here in
Yeah.
Sydney, Australia. So elizabethjane.com.au, and then if you scroll down, you can join my Instagram, elizabethjane.life, Life, and then you can follow all the podcasts, all the radio sessions I do. I did 4 radio sessions yesterday on hobbies and how hobbies can really assist us to lift our mood, lift our vibration, which is all that we're really here for, is to actually, we're not here for a long time, we're here for a fun time. You know, I'm writing a poem at the moment with a songwriter to make it into a song. And it's going to be follow your, I can't work out if it's follow the sun or follow your fun. And I'm not quite sure what to call it. So maybe Mariana, you can help me whether I should call it follow your fun or follow the sun.
I think follow the fun. That's
Yes, I
where,
think so.
yes, I think
I think
so.
so. And so
That's
yes,
awesome.
so that's the chorus, is following your fun. So I'm having a lot of fun with that music, and so maybe that will be put onto my website as well very shortly when it's out and about. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for joining us today. And thank you for the listeners for tuning in. We will add the website and the different links that Elizabeth talked today in our show notes. For the listeners, please do not forget to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoyed this episode, and see you next time. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you for having me.